Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the Set List of Life with the current bandmates of Dolly Fursuit. Tonight we have with us Aaron on guitar.
Hello, hello.
Christine on the drums.
Hi.
And I'm Leslie, your vocalist this evening. That is Albert. He's our special guest star, Albert the Hound.
Okay.
Yeah, Albert.
Gotta get him
yeah.
out of here.
No,
You
no,
don't
leave
fall.
Albert. Albert's
No, because
fine.
he'll keep barking. Come here.
I love Albert. He's just saying hello.
Yeah, he's saying, what's up? I want to be on. He's like, where's my microphone?
Yeah, anyway.
Okay. Carry on.
He needs
I'll
his
be
own
right back.
Instagram page.
Actually.
He does have his own.
He does.
Instagram
See,
page.
he has his own Instagram page.
Okay,
We
all
need to
right.
get him.
Albert the dog.
Albert the dog's being dragged out of the room. This is the professional quality show that we put on for you guys.
He's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm doing it.
Meanwhile, oh wait. Well, first of all, Kirsten's not here tonight. She's traveling.
She is. She's
in Portugal.
across the pond.
Looks awesome. So we'll have to hear all about that. We told her to gather some local folklore, so she has a good story to tell. She always has a good story to tell.
She does.
And tonight's song is Linger by the Cranberries. No particular reason, but I like to linger.
Don't we all?
We're just going to linger here for a while.
Some of you may think we linger too long.
We might linger too long.
We'll see. We'll see how long we linger.
And I have a bone to pick with you guys. You didn't record last week.
Okay,
No.
I was having a crisis that was an off-air crisis.
Oh, off-air.
So
That's understandable.
every now and then we
then.
have off-air crises.
Well, and I blew you guys off to go see Caitlin Clark.
you
so.
did. Wait,
How was that?
Which apparently, like half of my friends on Facebook were at. So.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Was it?
Let me put it this way. It was great in that the WNBA, it was like the highest attendance for any WNBA game yet so far, or something
great.
like that. So it was really neat to see the whole place packed for women's sports. That was kind of cool. It wasn't as cool because the Fever, which is the team she plays, Caitlin Clark plays for, was already in the playoffs, and this game didn't really matter one way or the other. So she didn't play a lot.
Oh, because they played all the other
players. So if you went to see Caitlin Clark, you saw her a little bit, but it wasn't the same.
Right.
I've often thought that if I were on her team, while I'd be happy to have her on her team, there are other members of that team.
Yes.
And everybody always says, I'm going to see her and not.
But the way basketball...
It's the way it's always been.
I know.
I remember watching like Jordan and Pippen and all the other, and I remember, well, what are the other guys? They're important too.
But the way basketball drafts work is the first pick goes to the worst team.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. She was first
So we
pick.
don't know about
The rest of
players
the...
because maybe they're not as strong as some of the other players.
Yeah. No, actually, there's some good people. There's some great players.
Well, that's kind of fair in a way.
Yeah. It is fair. That's why they do it that way. But
That's why you don't have the Yankees.
But I would think that she's not only done great things for women's basketball in general, but she's done good things for this team. Like she's really pulled them together and made them into a team, and they made the playoffs.
So I'm gonna show my ignorance card here.
Okay.
I had no idea.
Who Caitlin Clark was?
No, I honestly thought you went to see a concert.
Oh,
I thought that who.
did you look her up?
No, I don't.
So now you know.
No, I don't.
Okay, so she played.
what we're talking
She played
about.
for Iowa.
she went to
so Kirsten
basketball.
Used,
We are talking about basketball,
we're
right?
talking about
Hey,
women's basketball.
Okay.
Context clues. Good for you.
Look at
I mean,
you.
I have.
I don't know.
I like how you were in it though.
Sure. Why not?
Okay. Well, let's back up a little bit.
No, again, sports.
Not just
no clue.
Not just Aaron, but for anybody who doesn't know who Caitlin Clark is.
That's
Sports
terrible.
ball.
She is a women's basketball player. She's a rookie.
Okay.
She was so good in college. Everybody was watching her in college. So as soon as she went to the WNBA, everybody's been watching her to see how she would do. And she has lived up to the hype.
Oh.
And she's brought a lot of attention to women's sports and women's basketball in particular. And there are some haters, even within women's basketball, people who
Always are.
Understandably saying, hey, we've been here a long time. We're really good players too. Why all of a sudden...
Just because it's part of, it's happenstance.
So anyway, it's when she started out the beginning of the season, they were not just like fouling her, they were beating the crap out of her on the court and, not getting called for it. And, I mean, there's a lot, it's been a very interesting year in women's basketball, but she
rose above it all.
in my opinion, yes, I think she rose above it all. Now, the reason I went to see Caitlin Clark is Chris is a huge sports fan of any sport.
Yes.
But he used to coach basketball, both boys and girls. So he's particularly a fan of basketball, particularly of Caitlin Clark. So when she came to DC the first time around, and this was early in the season, and he's like, all right, I'm going to see Caitlin Clark. Who's coming with me? And it was like crickets, like nobody. And he did. He ended up, to his credit, he ended up going by himself. And he went to the game and watched, and he was like, she was great. And of course she played the whole game and like, it was great.
And
blah,
now
blah, blah.
all the attention's on her.
Right.
And everyone wants to go see her now. And he's like,
This time around, and I will admit, I only went because we had box tickets. Someone gave us tickets. And I'm like, well, if it's in a box, I'll go see anything.
Makes sense.
But I did want to go see her. But at the same time, it was like, so it was a good circumstance for me at this point. So when the day of our normal podcast, when he's like, I have 2 tickets, so you want to go to Caitlin Clark? I was like, absolutely. I'd love to go see Caitlin Clark. So that is what that was all about.
All right.
But
now
I will
have an idea.
I will say this. I did go to a concert as well in the last couple weeks.
Look at you, busy girl.
This is kind of funny. So my friend, Doreen, hey, Doreen, she loves to go to concerts. She's always getting concert tickets. A lot of times when I'm going to concerts, that's who I'm going with.
Who you went to Matchbox with?
Yeah, she's always getting tickets.
Mm-hmm. You want to go? Yes.
Yes, I do. So she says to me, you want to go to Ringo with me? And I said, sure. And I'm thinking Ringo is a band, local band of some sort called
not Ringo Starr.
Richard Starkey is coming.
Well, he came to the anthem, and it wasn't until he literally walked on stage that I realized
Ringo.
I'm like, wait.
So does he have a band with him?
So he's got a group of, there's some guys from Toto, some guys from Men at Work. It's one of those, how they like to put those super bands. It's a super group. And, but it was hilarious because this whole time, and I'm at the anthem, like this whole time I'm thinking this is some new band I just haven't heard. She's all in the know. So, and then he walked out on stage and I turned to her and I'm like, that's freaking Ringo Starr. And she is.
Yeah.
What did you think we were doing? And I was like, well, not this. Like, I had no clue.
That's awesome.
I didn't know I was going to see a Beatle today.
I didn't know I was going to
And that's a great venue because there's no bad spots
It was a great venue. And it was actually kind of funny because if you anybody out there who's actually gone to the anthem, the ground floor is usually standing room. Like everybody stands. It's like a mosh pit. Well, considering the audience that was going to be there, it was all chairs. It was kind of funny. Everybody was sitting.
So I got Joey tickets to see Dream Theater there.
Yeah.
And when, of course, like I knew that tickets were going on sale, like the early bird, whatever they call it, pre-sale. So I got on right away and expecting, because it's at the anthem, for that to be the case. And they all had seats.
They had seats. Well,
so
maybe it's
like,
a new thing.
Right, well, I'm going to get seats then, down on the floor.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't get front row because those seats were like $500.
Yeah.
So like 10 rows back and it was like $80.
No,
Yeah.
So Dream Theater 10 rows back?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna in March.
Damn.
I got
she
4
hasn't seen them
tickets.
yet.
That's
So in March.
pretty.
I know. Joey's
Right?
very excited. It's his favorite band.
Wow.
$85.
That's awesome.
10 rows back
There you go.
Seating.
in the center.
And seating.
That's crazy.
And we're sitting.
But so
Anyway.
Ringo, first of all, the man's 84.
yeah.
I was going to ask how old he is. Okay.
He looks like he's in his mid 50s. He moves
Yeah.
like he's in his mid 50s.
He's still got it.
Now, granted, I'm sure he dyes his hair and his beard and stuff. So that, and he's wearing sunglasses. So it's kind of hard to see wrinkles and whatnot. But, and I can show you a video because I took a little clip just to like show Chris. I was like, he was running up and down the stairs. And then, like, he's not much of a dancer, as most drummers aren't. Sorry, no offense, Christy.
I'm not really a drummer, so it's okay.
But most drummers can't dance. We have to. So he's not
Nobody
much
gives
of
us the chance.
Phil Collins sang a song about it. I
Can't dance right. Didn't he? See,
about
it's
that.
not just me. I'm not making this up. So anyway, but he moved like he was dancing around the stage. He ran up and down the stairs, played the drum. I mean, like, you know, and granted, again, Ringo isn't a vocalist either, per se. So, you know, he sang
Octopus's Garden is a pretty damn good song.
Oh, it's a great song, but he sings like 3 notes. I mean, we're not showing range is all I'm getting at. But so he sang Octopus's Garden. He sang Yellow Submarine. They did some Toto songs. They did
Maxwell's
some
Hammer.
No, they didn't do that one.
Oh, Joy likes that one.
I don't know. We were discussing this. I don't know because the Beatles don't own their own songs. So Michael Jackson bought the Beatles songs back in the day. However, the Jackson Corporation has sold them back to Sony. So Sony owns the rights to the Beatles music.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I would know anyway, but we were like kind of trying to decide, like figure out how is he allowed to sing?
Haven't gotten to that yet in my library science classes.
Right. What is he allowed to sing?
Right.
For a fee, he can sing anything.
Well, right. But I'm sure he's trying to make money. So there's a certain amount. So who knows? I don't know if he has to pay. So it was interesting what songs they did play.
Yeah.
And he could make them his own. Ringo's version.
I don't think he did that though. Although, no, I say that, but in a couple of songs, they would do sort of like what I could only describe as a remix thing where they'd start to play a song, but they only played a few things and then they switched to another song and then they'd switch to another song. They did that a lot.
Like a medley.
Like a medley kind of thing.
It's Taylor's version. Only it's Ringo's version.
So I can
There's
tell
ways
you,
around everything.
Oh, yeah.
there are ways around everything, aren't there? All right. So here's what he sang. If it
Are you
comes up.
taking notes?
No. Do you ever use Setlist FM?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Setlist. And of course, here it comes. So he sang It Don't Come Easy. That's his song. So he probably owns that one. Maybe. They sang Rosanna by Toto.
Oh,
That
wow.
song. Can't stand that song.
They sang Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band.
Wow.
Down Under by Men at Work. And then they sang Matchbox by Carl Perkins. I don't know that one. And I also didn't know Boys by the Shirelles. So why those songs were picked, I'm not sure.
I don't know, but my mom loves the Shirelles.
He sang this song called I'm the Greatest that John Lennon wrote. And he explained that John Lennon wrote it, but then decided he couldn't sing it. So he gave it to Ringo to sing. And it was not, in my opinion, was not one of the best John Lennon songs.
Maybe that's why I gave it to Ringo to sing.
And it was the lyrics were interesting because he was talking about how he's the greatest. Like John Lennon was talking about himself. And
then realized that he's not an egotist.
yeah. So anyway, Yellow Submarine, Cut the Cake by Average White Band, Octopus's Garden, Back Off Boogaloo, which is a Ringo Starr song, Overkill, Men at Work, Africa, Toto, Work to Do by the Isley Brothers. Like those are the ones I was like,
Really?
No, the Isley Brothers too.
yeah. If you're
But
gonna,
if you think of it, the Beatles were around in that time period too.
yeah, but if you're gonna buy a song to sing, is it gonna be that one?
Did he write that song?
Oh,
Or
maybe.
did the Isley Brothers
Maybe.
write it?
I
He
don't
might
know.
have written it.
I don't know. The Isley Brothers used to write for a lot of other people, didn't they? I don't know. Anyway, I Want to Be Your Man by the Beatles. Who Can It Be Now? Men at Work. Hold the Line by Toto. Photograph by Ringo Starr.
I really didn't like Toto.
I was never a big Toto fan myself. I hated Men at Work, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, I like that.
I could take them or leave them.
But, you know, they were good. I mean,
I didn't turn them off if they came on, but I wasn't like, oh.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And then they closed out with A Little Help from My Friends. Interestingly, that whole set list took an hour and 45 minutes. And they were done. And there was no encore. And there was no opening band.
I feel like every show I've seen at the Anthem has been like that.
It's just boom,
What
hour
time,
and 45.
time did it start?
7.
So, okay.
Yeah,
9 o'clock, we're home, in bed.
I mean, it was
Know
for
your
me,
audience.
For me as
Time
an
to take your
audience
blood
member,
pressure medicine, your ginkgo, your.
This was a Tuesday night. For me as an audience member, I was like, this
I
rocks.
was gonna say, this is perfect. This is a perfect Tuesday night.
Everything I've seen there, no opening and short.
Yeah.
Everything. And
don't
I
know.
like that venue because you can park right there
Right.
in the garage.
Anyway, but it was a great show. I will say it was a great show.
Ringo.
But it was a surprise to me. This is me, I don't ask a lot of questions in general, but that was
awesome.
kind of the coolest moment of the whole thing where I'm sitting there and he walked out and I was like, oh, wait, you said Ringo.
See, I don't know that I would realize that was him.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Oh, no,
I mean,
you
he's
would
84 years
recognize him.
old. He's not.
But no, he looks,
Ringo's
no.
Ringo. There's no, he still looks the same.
He looks, I'm telling you, he looks like he's in his 50s. Like, no joke.
A little skinnier,
look him
but
up.
Yeah, a little skinnier.
but he's still Ringo.
And he had on like a
He's got the shades,
t-shirt with like a flannel over top and jeans and like,
and he talks, and you're like, "Yep, that's
Ringo,
That's
right?
Ringo."
and he
Maybe.
didn't sound old. Like he just, I was
yeah.
very much impressed.
Somebody's looking like.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks, I'm telling you, he does not look 84. My dad's 84. Love you, Dad, but he does not look like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but your dad doesn't have billions of dollars.
Well, this is true. And he doesn't have a deal with the devil. So, or maybe he does.
right.
What you don't know.
That I
Leslie.
don't know. So anyway.
Well, that's cool.
That's really
Yeah, that was very fun. Two very fun things I did. Well, you guys were not recording. Sorry.
easy.
I would know. It was just that Tuesday. I was like, oh, I wake up on
I can listen to the
Tuesdays,
podcast.
I can listen to the podcast. And then there was no podcast. I was like,
Sorry.
it's okay.
My fault. No, well, we had a very limited window of time also.
Yes, you did. Yes.
And
At my suggestion, and then I didn't show up.
right. And then I hadn't been there in a couple of weeks. So I had stuff to unload and I had a lot of stuff to unload. And I unloaded and then I was like,
Oh, it's time to go.
And then Kirsten had a story that was off air. And then it was like, well, we could record for 20 minutes or we could not.
Understandable.
So we
20
decided
minutes
not
isn't
to.
enough time. You have to linger.
Sometimes, there you
See that?
go.
See that? Wow.
She worked. So talking
80
about,
some shows in, I know how to.
No, this is episode 90.
Oh, 90.
we got 10
Wow,
more.
10 more until our 100th.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Almost 4,000 downloads.
Wow.
Okay, people, tell your friends, tell their friends so we can get 4,000.
And they told
Yeah.
two friends.
Yeah.
And so
4,000 by
Share.
100.
Yeah.
So talking about
Very
Linger.
cool.
Yeah.
Doing my homework yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 6:00 and Joey texts me. I know this is last minute, but our band is playing at Tri-M Honor Society. Can you come? At 7:00. Now
Okay.
I'm thinking, I don't really love going to Honor Society inductions when my kids are being inducted, but when my kid isn't even being inducted
This is not on your.
and I have homework to do and hadn't showered and I was just kind of planning on being in for the night, but I went. I went to the Tri-M Honor Society, Music Honor Society induction, which was about the most unique honor society I've ever been to.
Really?
They had a saxophone quartet who played Isn't She Lovely? They were excellent because these are musicians.
Yeah.
They had a girl who must be like all-state chorus or something. I don't know because she was singing a solo and she was talented and she sang, you're a chorus solo. That sounded like a chorus solo. And then they had the boys, their band.
Did they play originals?
They did.
Okay.
To an audience that I'm not sure was there to hear
Right.
rock music in a high school auditorium.
Right.
Well, we've been there.
Yeah. Joey goes, the audience was a little under-energized. I'm like, well, I don't think this is the right audience.
No. Did they put their fingers in their ears? I don't think so. Until that happens to you.
Yeah.
There may be one or two out there.
It was a bit loud. And then they did the induction and then they had, at this point, I'm like, I just want to go home. They had this guy who's a teacher at one of the other high schools who came and talked about music in your brain. Now, ordinarily, that lecture would have been fascinating.
But at this point, everybody just wants to be home.
Yes.
No one wants to
And
hear
it was
this.
like a 40-minute
Oh, no.
with slides,
Oh, no.
diagrams, and again, totally fascinating. Like I would love to listen to this man talk on this subject at another time.
At another venue
But
and
I
time.
felt that I was lingering in the
Yes.
auditorium a little too long.
Yeah.
But I do love my kid, and it was
That's
fun to
okay,
hear
you
him
did
play.
it.
But I'm like, and go boys, that you're getting out there and you're playing. But maybe homecoming would have been a better choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Which another funny Joey story. Friday morning of homecoming, I forgot that that the game was that night because my kids don't generally go to the football games because they don't play football. So I asked Joey when he was leaving for school, what time are you coming home? And he said, well, pretty late because I have rehearsal and then there's the parade and then there's the game. And I was like, oh, I forgot the game was tonight. Do you know anybody on the homecoming court? And he says to me, not really. And then he goes, well, my girlfriend's one of the royalty. She's on the court. I'm like, okay, so you do know somebody. And I'm escorting her on the field. I'm like, okay, so now I have to go.
That was my next question. I was like, so isn't he escorting her? And
Yes.
so he was.
So he did, yes. And she looked beautiful. And she's lovely.
Did
She's
he
a
have to
lovely
wear a
girl.
suit and everything?
Well, this is me. So he left for school and I'm thinking, he was in jeans and a t-shirt. He didn't ask me to buy him a tie or a shirt or whatever. And he has one suit. And
Right.
that suit's been out more than I have because it has gone to every single formal thing he's had to be at. But when I got to the game, he had a tie and his church pants and a button-down shirt. And he looked very nice, and he matched her. She was wearing, they matched. They looked nice together. But it was really cute. But I was like, dude, we got to talk about communication here.
That's hilarious that he was just sort of like, no.
Yeah, not really.
yeah.
Oh, well, maybe.
And I'm actually going to be
Escort
walking her out
around
onto the field. That's crazy.
So it was cute, but it was very cute. It was fun.
Aw.
But I've learned with that child that, you never know. He could be running for president. And
He
he'll
wasn't
tell me
trying to
after he
hide
wins.
it from you. It just didn't dawn on
I
him.
wanted to tell me that I might want to go to the game and see that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he wasn't escorting her, I would have wanted to see her come out on the field. They've been together for a year and a half.
Yeah.
She's a great kid.
That's hilarious. Damn kids.
I know. Well, he wasn't even going to tell me about the role he got in the play or that he and his girlfriend are playing husband and wife in the play, which is just too cute.
That's too funny.
I don't know. So you just have to ask questions. You just have to know what questions. And sometimes I don't know what questions to ask.
Well, that's the truth.
Are there any activities that you think I might want to be at today? And even if you think I might not want to, what activities are you going to?
Right.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Well,
there's that.
well, did you guys notice that I'm on Instagram?
I'm not.
I sent you a few
I'm not
things.
on Instagram.
I got the follow. Yes.
So,
Because somebody noted that you were, but I'm not.
so
I was like, what is this?
Yeah, I
But you're not
know.
on Facebook.
I know.
Kidding.
No.
Can't, and then as soon as I got one for Kirsten, which I didn't know, but she's got this paintbrush type thing.
yeah,
And I was
she's-
like,
she's a
whoa.
painter.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, this is crazy.
yeah, I put a picture of us on my Instagram, by the way.
Oh, of all of us? Or
Well, Aaron's not in the picture.
the
I
three
couldn't
of us?
find one
Oh,
with,
is it the?
I don't have one. No, I only have one picture that has it's the fruit gang sign picture that has all of us in it.
And that's the one that's up. I don't
No,
know.
no,
that
that's not
picture.
the one that's up.
Okay.
It's the it's just one of the many. But it's just you, me, and Kirsten.
Okay. Well, now I got to get on Instagram just so I can see the. Well, or you
See.
can just show it to me.
You have the picture. I think you gave it to me, but
You don't
anyway.
have an Instagram?
Well, and I resisted.
She's got an Instagram.
All I have is Facebook. Oh, and I'll tell you about my interview after this, and when I had to talk about social media, and I'm like,
But see, I don't understand Instagram. I don't understand any of it. So I haven't posted anything. I don't post anything just because
so did you get on it to follow your kids?
I got on it because yes, my kids were giving me a really, really hard time because they're always sending me
Reels.
Right.
reels,
And you
I
can't open
You
them.
can't open
I
them
know.
unless you have Instagram
An account.
And they were just getting really pissed.
Yeah.
And so I was finally like, fine, I'll get it just to open it. And so, okay. But here's where the offense comes in. Here's where I'm highly offended.
Okay.
So I get a lot of face creams, tummy tucking jeans,
Yep.
just general old lady shit, menopause, all this stuff.
It knows you already.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't know me.
It will.
And it's shoving that stuff in my face. And
Look
it
at her
pisses
beautiful
me
skin.
off.
She doesn't need face cream.
I'm just saying.
and diets and
Depends. She doesn't need Depends.
every other diet, all these. It's
okay,
really
'cause
pissing me off.
Facebook dating thinks that I want to date women. So
okay,
Sure,
fair enough.
They keep sending me women.
But see, that's the thing that offends me is it thinks it knows me It has
and
no
it
clue.
just doesn't. But maybe if you posted, it might know you.
I
better.
start
Well,
like
here's what happens.
Okay, what happens?
What they're doing is you're new to Instagram.
Yes, and they just went by my name, age, and serial number.
And your demographics
And my rank.
and somebody sold your data a long time
Right,
ago
right,
and they
right.
got a hold of it and they're like, okay, yeah, she likes these types of things. But what's going to happen is that there is going to be something that you're like, oh, and you click on it and it's going to know that.
Yes.
And you're going to go through all this bullshit and you're going to click something else and you're like, oh, and as you go through it, it's going to start to curate more of your content.
I got that.
Even if you don't click, like with Facebook, if I just stop for
I was
a
going to say,
second
if you
to
stay
read,
on, yes. If
Yes.
You, if you
and then I
scroll
get
and
like a
stop on
bazillion
something.
things. I'm like, I didn't stop for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand that.
Yes.
So, well,
you know.
I don't have Instagram, but my 85-year-old aunt has Instagram and has told me like, oh, I saw Eliza's room and da-da-da. I'm like, well, okay, I probably need to have an Instagram. Yeah. So I had an interview today for a job out by you, actually, for a teen services assistant librarian position, which would be a great position. It's just that it's an hour and a half away, basically, an hour and 15 minutes away. But anyway, part of it was I had to present a program that I would put together and how would I use social media and all the different platforms. And I was like, okay, got to figure these all out. So I had to talk to my children and get some help with that.
Oh, well, that was good. So at least, but see, the kids probably were a huge help. Yes.
I had my ideas, and then I just had to say, would this work if I did this?
Oh,
if I
okay.
did
Okay.
that?
Well, that's good.
But I just, I think enough of my information is out there that I don't need to have Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. And
I don't care to have them either. But but of all, I have to say, of the Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok trifecta, for me, the least offensive is
would be
Instagram.
If I were to go, if I were to take another step into the social media world, that would be where
I will say I am starting to get some very funny things like that. Yeah. Well, and one of the things I recognized right off the bat was that rock star guy who does the dog videos. I get a lot of dog videos.
Okay. Yeah. If you interact with pets, it'll come up a lot. And food.
Right. But you know, some things actually some very funny things like that just sort of have brightened my day. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then if I linger.
See, it was a good choice.
This is all right.
Then it becomes a problem. Yeah. Then I start getting pissed off at all the stuff that shows up. But
because now Facebook has reels too, and I'm like, and I'm watching all old friends things and everything. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
And it's all the same reels, though. Yeah. I'm noticing it's all the same reels. It just doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just the source.
Yeah. No, I usually watch if I'm going to do reels. I watch it on Instagram because they're usually a better reel.
Yeah.
But Facebook is.
It's just time suck.
It is a time suck. There is some good information there in terms of like restaurants, and you go to the comments to find out whether or not certain places are good, or if you find a local group of parents or business owners or whatever it is, you can find that through Facebook groups, and that's nice.
Right.
But it's usually like a clickbait type of post where they want to trigger you and you go down to the comments and then you get pulled into this whole like cesspool of like humanity. And it's like, okay. Yeah. So you have to be really careful with Facebook. And I just don't have TikTok. I think TikTok's
scary.
Yeah. Well, and with the Instagram, I know people comment, but you have to like, it's not, you can easily, it's different. And you can easily just scroll right by the comments and not have to worry about it. So, all right. Okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm just, like I said, once they get to know me, perhaps I'll like it better. But right now like when I first got on, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. They're just looking. They're trying to find out what you actually really like. And then you open it and that's.
Yeah. So how many followers do you have?
Oh, I don't know. Shall I look?
I think I followed you.
I'm sure it's not many because
I think I did.
I think you did. I'm sure it's not many because
do we have an Instagram account?
We do.
How many followers do we have?
Life has a.
Do you know that people in my library science program asked for the name of our podcast?
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, we have quite a few.
We may, and if any of you out there are in my library science program, hey.
I have 18 followers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's actually my lucky number.
That's like a
So
full
stay-
classroom.
I know,
Stay-
right?
Not really. Not
Think
in,
of yourself.
not in Loudoun County, it ain't.
But the nice thing about Instagram is, I guess unless people think to search for you, no one knows you're on it until you send someone a reel. Like, you know what I mean? Like the people that are following me are only following me because I
you
thought
sent
of
them
them
something?
and I sent them something.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
You know.
We have on. Hold on. 6 followers.
Woo! Leslie has more than us?
I
Yes.
do. I personally have more than the group.
We don't.
Okay, so
We don't post any.
We don't post anything.
Yo, people
'cause it
out there.
takes- yeah.
We'd actually have to like make an effort.
We would like to hit double digits. Can we do like
So it's a set list of life on Instagram. I don't even follow
It
us.
is. Right. See?
I don't even listen to us, so
right.
you know, I mean,
It's
really,
just flawed from the beginning.
really.
Speaking of which, so you didn't listen to the tapeworm episode. I can tell by the
listen to
look
us.
on-
That's right. That's right.
I
She was
could tell
absent for
she
that
was
one.
absent for the tapeworm episode.
I
Yes.
can only imagine.
Well, hey,
who
follow-
has the tapeworm?
Well, I wanted one.
Yeah, it was quite the episode. It was quite the episode.
But
Oh,
follow
I
up.
always have so much fun
Where's our
without
duck
me.
noise? Where's our duck noise?
oh, I'm not.
Yeah, we haven't done
ready
any
for,
of our noises.
No, I'm not ready for any
He's
of
Is
that.
not ready
everything
for-
echoing in this room? I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You're
Yeah. So follow up. So the whole conversation was about why haven't tapeworms been used as diet aids? Because you can easily.
thinking this was where this was going.
Yeah. And so,
Kirsten sent an article afterwards.
right. And it turns out
It has been.
it was a big thing
Yeah.
in the early 1900s.
Well, and leeches were also used.
Right.
So let's,
but I was like, man, no new ideas.
yeah.
It's already been done. That's why no one's doing it now because it's already been done.
Yeah.
Give
You
it
know?
time. It'll come back. You
I'm
can make a
thinking-
resurgence.
Cyclical.
Make it happen.
Well, I was trying to. I don't think
it would
I don't
be
think-
fun.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that bad.
Would it not?
I'm not against the tapeworm, is all I'm saying. I'm not taking sides, is all I'm saying.
Free the tapeworms.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I liked her face though when I said, so did you listen to it? And she, there's just
I
blank.
mean-
Yeah.
Why even lie?
But, I thought maybe.
I'm me, and I. So
I'm me.
okay, so and again, I would love to have this job. I really would. It just was a long trip out there, and in my hour driving out there, I know I can't believe you do this all the time, but I would do it. I mean, if they wanted to hire me, I would definitely take it because it's a great job and it's a great library. It's a great library.
Is it the one in
It's
Stevens?
not. Yeah, it's in Stevens City. Yeah, Bowman, not Hanley.
Bowman. I go there every week.
Great library.
It's
I was
a wonderful.
so super impressed with everybody there.
Yes, wonderful library.
So super impressed. But anyway, so I thought as I'm driving out there, I'll put on my podcast.
Yes.
I try. I can't
You couldn't
listen.
do
I
it.
have it on for like 5 minutes and I'm like, I just missed everything everybody said.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
Always that happens for me. Always. I am not an auditory learner in the least.
You can glaze over while we're chatting.
It depends on what's on my mind. Like today I was it really depends on the information that's being divulged. If it's something that you're really into and that you want to learn and want to know, I will listen to that episode while I'm driving. But if it's just kind of like, again, it happened today. I listened to a podcast on something about business and I just had my mind somewhere else and I was kind of interested in the topic and I just had I literally had that moment of, I just went through 10 minutes of that podcast and I have no idea what anybody said because I'm just not there. So I was
Right.
like, I'm just going to turn this off because I'm obviously not invested in this
right.
right now.
It's like white noise. So, because I've been listening to the Business Wars one. Mm-hmm. So first it was Netflix versus Blockbuster, and now I just finished Nike versus Adidas.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you what
I
happened.
probably got 20% out of everything that I listened to. I don't know the big players. I got to the end of the Nike versus Adidas, and I was like, I don't even know who they said is coming out on top. Like, I realized at the end that I'm like,
What was the
I
result?
just missed the last half hour.
No results
Now,
here.
will I go back? No, I probably won't. And now we have Marvel versus DC, and I'm probably just going to skip over all 7 of those episodes because I'm not invested in that at all. You would think Nike versus Adidas I'd be invested in because that's sneakers. So Sean told me to listen to, what is it, Music Mondays or something like that, Music History.
Okay.
And it looks fascinating to me, and I will try it, but I have a feeling it's not going to work.
No guarantee.
Yeah. You genuinely have to be want to listen to the episode.
But I want to like there's stuff on Rachmaninoff. I'm like, I want to hear that. But if it's written while I'm listening, then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Which is this. I'm being a terrible promoter for our podcast right now. But if you're actually listening to us
none of these
right now,
people have that problem.
right? I'm working on it.
No.
Maybe I'll just provide the transcript to all of our podcasts
There you
for
go.
people like me. Maybe that's what we need to do.
So let me ask you this, people like you.
Yes.
When you load the dishwasher, do you load it like a Scandinavian architect or do you load it like a raccoon on crystal meth?
Oh, definitely a Scandinavian architect.
Oh, I say you, me both.
Yeah.
That's very satisfying. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah. Everything has its place. I have OCD, so.
Now, but what I don't do is if somebody comes in and they put things in the wrong place, sometimes I'll leave it because my parents used to
Oh, no, I
Rearrange.
rearrange. I rearrange.
no, I mean, I know everything needs its place and when I'm doing it, but if I feel like if one of my kids puts it in there, hey, that's a bonus.
Well, I'm not rearranging because it's in the wrong place. I'm rearranging if it's not as efficient as
Yes.
possible to
Yes.
get.
Yeah.
There's
It
only
has to
so
be-
much limited space in that washer, and I need to make sure everything's
but you know
lined up
what's
because
happening-
that's how I'm going to get the max out of this
Right.
dishwasher.
Which I get.
And
which I
things-
get. But now that there's only 3 of us living in this house, the dishwasher could go days without being washed and then it smells. So I don't need the space.
Right. So you just run it because it needs to be run.
Gotcha. Now, see, I have to have, and like things can't be overlapping. Like it has to not only be as if packed as possible, but the surfaces must be reachable by
Yes,
the
I
water
agree
and
with
the
you.
soap.
I do agree with you there.
Right? Like, so if someone comes in and throws a bowl over top of something else, I'm like,
No,
that
I
has
agree
to
with
be
you there.
moved.
No, that I would totally do that too because it's got to get clean.
It's gotta get
What's
clean,
the point?
right?
I got you there.
Okay.
No.
That's where I rearrange. It's not like,
Yes,
oh, no, you didn't put it in the right spot. Because I don't even put everything in the same spot every time. It depends on what my puzzle is. You don't know. Do you have pans? Do you have plates? What do you got?
I just thought you just said pants.
I thought you said pants too.
Pants in the dishwasher. But that's how
Every time.
Aaron always washes his pants in the dishwasher.
they
Duh.
look very clean.
Amazing.
Except for that little
I'm not
spot
wearing
of ketchup.
pants.
That's true. If he's got pants on,
Technically,
if they're
I'm not.
off, they're in the dishwasher. They're either on or in the dishwasher. They're, yeah, you
Lord
know.
help me. I'm not sitting on the same side of the table with you anymore. I would like to
But like,
defect over to the other side. Kirsten's not here. We're
Right,
moving her.
right.
You're actually sitting in the wrong place.
I know it's bothering me just a little bit. I was trying to kind of like
Shimmy.
be in between you two, but then I got too lazy.
Yeah.
And then we started.
It's like sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. So the other day, I mean, now Mike hasn't been living in my house for 8 years, and I have a nice, huge king size bed. You would think by now the whole bed's mine.
No. Your
But
spot
it's
is
not.
your spot.
I stay in my spot. Well, the other day, the dog was in bed before me, and he just looked so cozy. And I thought, I'm not going to move him. So I went to the other side of the bed.
oh, you couldn't sleep, could you?
I
doesn't wear
tossed
the
and
same.
turned for a couple hours, and then finally was like, that's it. Albert, you're moving. And I woke him up and I moved him. I couldn't sleep. I tried.
I
could
know.
not sleep.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
Your spot is your spot.
It is.
That's, yeah.
Now, the problem's going to be like, Joey and I are going up to Berkeley for his audition, and the only hotel I could get, king size bed, one bed. So like, he better not have well, I guess he sleeps only by himself, so he wouldn't have a side of the bed. Because like, what happens when you sleep with somebody who sleeps on the same side of the bed? It becomes an issue.
It becomes an
And
issue.
you have to fight over it.
Does it though?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
You can't just be like, mine, move.
Well, but if that person says the same thing.
I'm older.
Joey, yes. Actually, I mean, it's been a long time since I've actually had to share a bed with that child, but he used to kick and turn
Flail.
and
All over the
move.
place.
And
Yeah.
that boy has fallen out of his bed more times than anybody I know. Now, I don't know that still happens, but I do remember one time I found him under his bed. So, anyway, it's problems. Problems of a single woman.
We all got them. Yeah.
But I do have my side. It's my side.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's understandable.
otherwise I'd have been lingering on the other side. Just
So,
thinking about how I need to
I don't
get
have
over.
like such a big bed, but even like if Chris is traveling or whatever, same thing, stay on my side, but I literally sleep on the edge.
Me too.
I like being on the edge of the bed. Like I like not having anything on to that.
Interesting.
So like I'm like the only thing holding me onto the bed is like that.
Is you.
Is that little ridge that goes around the mattress. But I like to be like on the very, very edge. I don't know why.
Do you tuck or do you untuck?
While I'm sleeping? Untuck while I'm sleeping. When I make the bed, I'm a tight tucker.
Okay.
Hospital corners, everything's tucked.
Oh, really?
Tight quarter. You can bounce a quarter off of it kind of deal.
Really? I mean, my bed is made, and there's nothing. You can't see the sheets, but they're not tightly made.
Yeah, but see, that makes it nice and cool and crisp. So when you take the covers back,
Yeah, but then you got to yank the blanket.
I don't care.
All right. All right.
I thought I was bad. She said,
Hey, no finger gestures. This is
"Do you
audio.
make your bed?
I throw the blanket over and that's good enough.
Put the pillows. Do the pillows get put right?
No, there's no, I mean, no.
You don't have extra
There's
pillows?
no actual like shifting of pillows. It's like, okay, wake up, throw the covers over. So it's kind of, if it makes it to like a full bed, yay. If it doesn't, and it's like folded over, I don't care. I just don't care.
See,
I
there's-
got better things to do.
But no, there's so much. Here's what it is for me. There's so much disorder in my head
No. I get it.
that I have to have order in my physical world. Right. I mean, I don't have to. I'm not like freaking out about it. In fact, 90% of the time I don't even make my bed, but when it's made, you know what I mean? So like my physical world, as long as everything's in its place, my brain can settle.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it's not, if the world's a mess and my brain's a mess, this is bad.
No, I get you. I feel that. I feel that too. I feel
Absolutely.
that too.
That makes sense.
But I can't even get into my bed at night if it hasn't been made. So if it's like, for some reason, and this never happens, but maybe once in a while, I didn't make the bed in the morning, I will make it at 10 o'clock at night and then get in the bed.
I do that.
Okay. And she's doing the little finger swirl to me.
No, so that,
Now, let it be known, I did say, wow, she's crazier than me. So I did admit to my crazy.
Okay.
yeah. No, so I do
Fully own that.
I do that. So like if in the evening I pull at the covers and then now there's more covers on this side and it's kind of that the diagonal type of thing.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
that's
that
not
top
okay.
corner doesn't have any covers on it.
Yes.
No, that's
right?
not okay.
So if I know,
That's
so if the morning, again, I just flip the covers over because my mission is get up, brush the teeth, get moving. That's my, because I'm a person who only one alarm. I don't
me
hit
too.
snooze. There's no snooze.
I'm not a snoozer.
So as soon as that's going off, my function is to get moving. That's what I need to do. Now at night, before I go to bed, yes, I will shift the covers over and make everything perfect and then get in bed. But not in the morning.
Interesting.
I do it in the morning.
It
Doesn't take long because I don't do the hospital corner.
Right,
Bounce the quarter off the bed. But I don't like if there's like sheets hanging out under the bedspread or anything like that. It has to be.
Yeah.
And the pillows all have to, I have several extra pillows that go on my bed. They have to be up there neatly.
Okay. Interesting.
It's a thing.
But why?
but
I don't know. It probably has to do with order. I mean, also when I get into bed, like the sheets have to be like the right, like if they're too long, bugs me. And if they're too short, it has to be like right to the right.
Oh.
okay.
There's an area that they have to be in.
Yeah.
But they're too long.
There's a range.
And
there's a
the right amount of heaviness. It's a whole
Yeah, the
thing.
heaviness I understand. I have a weighted
Whole
blanket.
thing.
So yeah. No, I get it.
Eliza has a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
And when she came home that weekend that she came home, she didn't bring her weighted blanket home. And we had to like give her like 7 extra blankets so she could put them on her bed to have that pressure.
Yes.
Interesting. On her.
Important.
Yeah.
And I too lay on the side of the bed. I have to have the hand. I can be able to lay the hand out.
Yeah.
I like to be able to kick my foot out.
Yeah, the foot. Yeah, the foot out. But I like to. I have a granite end table that.
Look at you have very
It's
shishi.
nice to be able to, if you're hot,
Feel the cold.
to be able to
your
reach
hand
over and
on
touch
that.
the cool granite. You're just like, oh, that feels so
Look at
good.
you.
Look at
It's
you.
the best. It's the way. It's great.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm going to get me some granite.
Yeah. It is cool.
Just buy yourself a slab.
Yeah.
Stick it on your
Well,
thing.
yeah,
Just
just
set
a
it
Stick it
slab.
on your thing.
It is nice. It is really nice.
Well,
'cause
the
it's very
dogs sleep
cool to
on my
touch.
side. So I'd have to make maybe I'll make a granite roofed doghouse.
Oh.
Okay,
There you go.
dogs, plural. You and Chris all in the same bed. That's not going to work.
No. They sleep on the floor on my
okay.
side.
All right, that would work.
They don't, yeah. No,
That's
no,
a
no.
lot of people.
No. Well, actually, every now and then, Carmen, but she's like all of 12 pounds.
You don't
every
have
now
an
and
end
then.
table?
I do.
It's just
I
not
do.
granite.
But it's just not granite.
The slab.
Eh. My arms are short, though. I got those T-Rex arms. I need
See,
something.
mine is at the edge of the bed. Like
I need
at
something.
the edge of the bed, and I have a round 2-foot table with a lamp on it.
Yeah, that's mine is too, but it's not granite. It's wood.
Yeah.
Similar to. Well, that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
just saying, it's nice to be able to touch something.
This is okay.
Cool.
So we need an idea for our 100th episode.
Oh, yeah. So all of you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Remind everybody what our email address is.
The set list of life at gmail.com.
Yes, it is.
So
Yes, it is, Leslie. It really is.
it's a shame that people can't have a visual because Leslie's eyes. What's the look on her face? Yes. Why, yes, it is.
It's
She looked like someone. I thought it was going to be more difficult.
I know, but here's the funny thing. This is like goes to the information that the conversation that we were having before we were recording. Much like someone's name that we can't remember,
Yes.
in a month or so, she'll be like, and that email is
The
what?
email for, hey, look, it's not just
really,
me.
it's not that hard.
Because people text me and go, you have an email? I didn't know you have an email. And we used to mention it more often.
We did.
We
We did.
probably haven't mentioned it for
This
a
is
good
true.
10, 15 episodes.
Yes.
So I thought we should.
And
Yes.
for what it's worth, I didn't know what it was. I knew we had one because my friends have used it. Thank
yes.
you to my friends who use it, Charlie and
Indeed.
Kirsten.
Indeed.
And they know it.
Yeah.
So pass that on to other people.
So my point being in that we have this 100th episode coming up.
We need
and
ideas.
if there is
Suggestions,
something
ideas.
that you guys out there want us to do, we are, more than happy to accommodate. I have some ideas.
Well,
I do. I have a couple ideas.
Leslie's ideas
do
are
we
always
wanna-
good ones.
But
Try some of those on, or no? We're going to surprise.
Are they surprises?
they're not surprises. I just don't want to.
Are you just going to announce us as the
I don't want to
demons of
promise
woe?
it and then not deliver it. Is the problem?
Well, we're not going to.
Solidify our.
Yeah, everything's fluid right now in terms
Okay.
of let's throw some ideas because it was suggested in chat. Maybe we should start asking questions about past episodes or whatnot like that.
Yeah.
and I did throw that
Do
into
a
Chat
trivia?
GPT.
Oh, Jesus, I would fail this.
Yeah, I
Don't we have to know the answers?
Well,
Well, that's the funny part because we've all talked about it, and yet we probably none of us remember it. And meanwhile, the people out there listening to us are like, "Dudes, you guys talk about this all the time."
yeah, you've mentioned that at least 3 or 4
We've
times.
heard that story more than once.
I don't know if I told you the story. We all kind of like, we don't say anything.
But wouldn't it be kind of fun to play one of our trivia games, but with our own information to see how much we,
See how much
remember,
we remember?
about our own conversations?
Yeah. That works
So
for
that
me.
would be one.
We could do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be one idea.
Yeah,
like
so
that
I did ask ChatGPT that, and it did give me questions, and it turned out okay-ish. I don't know how fun it would be.
I think we need to have a signature cocktail for the 100th
I
episode.
was thinking that as well.
That's could be done.
We should make our own set list cocktail.
Yeah.
Ooh. yeah.
But I don't know exactly what to do for 100.
I know that's tough.
It is a tough one, especially for us.
Maybe it's just out of superstition. We skip it and we go straight to 101. Just like there's no 13th floor in a building, right?
Or 100. I don't think that works.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I know that in elementary school, we used to have the kids wear shirts with 100 of something. So some kids would put 100 buttons on it. Yeah, anyway. Or bring in 100 somethings. Not that we should do that, but I'm just thinking of what we used to do for 100th day at school, because in elementary school, 100th day is a big deal. It's a big deal. It usually falls in February.
Okay.
It's a big deal.
Okay.
But we can think.
Oh,
But it needs to be something special.
something special, something around 100.
Maybe we write a song.
Oh,
That would.
Do you know what? I actually wrote a song, but I can't share it because it's very personal.
wait, you wrote a song
Did write a song.
on the piano?
I gotta add the piano parts. I wrote the lyrics and I have the melody in my head.
Really?
Yeah. So with everything I was going through last week,
Yeah.
I wrote a song about all of it.
There you go.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
you're not
You wanna
going to see
record it?
now. You're not going to get away.
Let me think it through. Okay. I'm thinking it through. Maybe, possibly.
That would be awesome.
You know, Aaron's going to bug you about this now.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you know that I still have not heard my daughter's song?
I have it right here. I'll play it for you.
Oh, she would not be very happy with
I
you
know
if you
that.
did that. And I won't ask you to do that because she should share it with me herself. She did get a role in the play, though. Somebody
Yes,
stepped
I know.
down.
I
Oh,
know.
She tells you more than she tells me.
I know nothing. So there you go, Christine.
So she didn't audition because I think she was a little nervous.
Yeah.
And so she stepped up and became stage manager.
Okay.
And then somebody dropped out and they asked her to step in for that role. So
It all worked out.
next weekend, I'm going to go down and watch my girl on stage.
Yay.
She was
That
all
worked
excited
out.
because the folk festival is happening this weekend.
She tells me
She,
nothing.
she didn't tell you anything.
She tells me nothing.
You need to get on Instagram. That's what it is.
Possibly.
If you were on
I'm
Instagram,
telling
you would know all.
I mean, she tells me some stuff. I mean, I do get some stuff, but I think that
How long are your conversations
With
on the
her?
phone? Average.
with her, not long. They're usually between, like, from her walking from class to class. It's very funny. Like, Bryn and I will talk 20 minutes. And then what Bryn and I will do is she'll put FaceTime on and I'll put FaceTime on and we'll just sit and do homework together, but not really talk. And we'll
Okay.
throw some things out. But Eliza, I mean, when I talk to her, which might be once a week, it's while she's walking to class. But she texts me
Okay.
and fills me in. She is not one of the greatest communicators of all time.
There seems to be
I
a
am
theme in your
well
family.
Yeah, the little two. That's okay because Bryn communicates enough.
A little
that,
too
like,
much.
No, I mean, not too much because I love hearing from her. I love hearing from her, but she communicates. But Eliza, it's when she needs me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when she's struggling, which is fine. And I kind of with her have taken the tactic of when I don't hear from her, things are probably good
Yeah.
and she's happy.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that she's happy. So it's good. It's good that I'm not hearing from her all that often. And she does tell me the things that I need to know. Like she did tell me she got this part, so now I know I need to go down. And
Yeah.
and it's
No,
not
absolutely.
at 5:00 when she's
Going-
going to be on stage at 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, but not a whole lot. But like, heck, when I was in college, maybe I talked to my parents once a week at 11 p.m. on Sunday nights because it was cheaper,
Yeah.
and that was it. So yes, but I do think she probably texts you a little bit more of some of the fun details and
yeah.
some of the other things
Yeah.
which
Like
is
I
good.
said, she was excited to go to the festival today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, good. That's exciting.
But Joey, I guess when he goes away to college, I'll plan on not hearing from him at all.
You're just going to end up missing it all. But it's okay.
He'll be that one who's like, "Are you alive?"
Yes, just text me alive. Just text me alive.
Yeah.
He may be one that I may have to follow on Life 360 just
Right.
so that I know he's alive and moving.
Yeah.
But yeah. But Bryn calls me all the time.
Part of it, though, so, okay, I'm going to get deep here for a second.
Deep
we have a
thoughts.
deep thoughts?
Where's is it this one still? Deep thoughts with Leslie.
Well, it's not really a story, but here's a deep thought.
It's a deep thought.
It's Leslie. That's Leslie's.
Yeah, that's your sound.
And I will, I need to, I'll bring it back around to the Joey and being the youngest. This is what made me
Okay.
think of it. Okay. But so JJ's reading Ricky Tikki Tavi in school in English. So do you know Ricky Tikki Tavi? Do you know Ricky Tikki Tavi?
I do, but we never had to read it.
Okay. So Rudyard Kipling, same guy who wrote Jungle Book, wrote Ricky Tikki Tavi. And it's about a mongoose and a cobra. And when we were
I'm
kids,
surprised that they're still reading that one. But
when we were kids, it was a cartoon that was on once a year, like Heidi or Sound of Music.
What's the Ricky Tikki Tembo no Sorembo? What is
Yes.
that?
Is that the same thing? Maybe not. I know what you're talking about.
What
though.
is that?
Well, we'll look that up while I tell
look
my
that up
story.
while we
Like you're
hear
saying
Liza's
Ricky
story.
Tikki, and I'm
It's
like
Ricky
Ricky Tikki
Tikki
Tembo
Tavi.
no Sorembo.
Yeah.
Something.
That's like a song.
Yeah. So anyway,
This is
Like a
like
rhyme, nursery rhyme or something?
Ricky Tikki Tavi is the mongoose, and I don't remember the reason why, but this cobra wants to go in and kill the family that lives in the house.
Okay.
And I don't know how much you know about mongooses,
Right.
and it is mongooses, not mongoose, which is a problem. But that's another time. That's another conversation.
I do want to have that conversation because I actually have a bunch of, never mind.
Okay, so mongooses, I guess the venom doesn't affect them as much, and so they kill cobra. They can kill cobras. It's not a problem. So this cobra, he's reading now. Okay, he's not listening to me. He's reading.
Yeah, I can't do both things at the once.
Okay, whatever. I don't think they're related. is the
Not
point.
related is the
Okay.
point.
Okay.
Okay. So the long story short, the cobra wants to kill the family. Ricky Tikki Tavi comes in to save the family. Now, I don't know why Ricky Tikki Tavi wants to save the family. I don't remember. Not important. But what is important is there's this scene in the cartoon that we used to watch as kids where the cobra is up with his hood out and he's swaying like a cobra does, right? And Ricky Tikki Tavi's opposite him, and the cobra says to him, "If you move, I strike. If you don't move, I strike." Okay, you know how I am with Little House on the Prairie. When this part of the movie would come on, I would lose my shit
Yeah, see, this is like the Wizard of Oz, and
because the level of peril Ricky Tikki Tavi was in, and you want him to win.
there's no choice.
And there's no choice. And it used to kill me, even though I guess maybe because it was only once a year and maybe I've always had this problem. Maybe I just didn't remember that, spoiler alert, Ricky Tikki Tavi comes out on top. Okay.
Right.
So I was thinking, he was telling me about Ricky Tikki Tavi. And of course, that's the flashback that came to my head. And I tell him this story. And
Has he gotten to
thinking-
that point in the book yet? Did you ruin the book for him?
I did not ruin the book for him.
Spoiler.
Spoiler.
So I said, clearly I had an issue with peril as a child. And I'm thinking, was it because I was the last child? And by that time, a couple of things happen. Once you're walking and talking, your parents are kind of like, with the third one, you're on your way, kid.
Right.
We tried with the first two. We see that our influence has done nothing with the first two. So, good luck with that. Is it the fact that, you feel sort of vulnerable as the last child only because your siblings practice on you?
Mm-hmm.
They practice going out into the world on you first, make sure it works, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you don't get as much attention paid you, which is why third children are often actors and actresses because they're craving the attention. I'm wondering if it was the position of being the youngest child, like Joey, that you feel somewhat vulnerable, and maybe he doesn't say things because he feels safer not offering up information.
Well, that might be possible.
Yeah. Because clearly I'm affected by peril.
I mean, but I feel like I am too. Like, I can't watch Wizard of Oz or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory because I think that those movies in our day
Maybe that was just the movies.
were really horrifying. But that's a whole other podcast.
So maybe it has nothing to do with my
But the other point that you made might be because that does fit him.
right.
And I will promise that by the time that child came along, it was
You're on your own,
nobody's
kid,
licking
right?
your pacifier even. That falls in the dirt. Put it right back in your mouth.
I don't know. See, I don't know if it's
He's
that or-
always been the child in the family that's the smoother over. He wants to make sure everybody's
Yes,
getting along.
same. That is me.
Yeah, he's definitely that kid.
he wants to make everybody make sure
and
everybody's happy.
He won't tell you things that are bothering
Yes.
him because he doesn't want to upset anybody. Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, anyway, that was my deep thoughts for the day.
Psychology with Leslie.
Wow.
Yeah, psychology.
We need a new button. Yeah, let's not do that again. Let's leave that. That's my first and last.
What would be a good sound for that?
Linger by the Cranberries.
We have lingered too long on this topic.
Yes, we have. Yeah, I don't get deep real good.
No,
You get deep well.
I do deep. Oh my gosh. I mean, our friend Sean, it's a good thing he's not here. I can talk to that man I talked to him for 3 hours the other night. 3 hours the other night about stuff.
Yeah, just going on and on
Yeah.
and on and on. And on.
It's I mean, it's a great thing, but it's not a good thing because it's like 3 a.m. I'm like, dude, I got to go to bed. He does not have to go to bed, but I have to go to bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do deep.
Yeah.
I do deep. I don't know. I was the second child. What does that mean? I was the middle kid. I was very independent, but I'm also first girl, and first girl does make a difference.
Yeah. It's the order, years in between.
Well, that's the thing too that I was thinking about Joey. There's not a whole lot of years in between top to bottom, so my kids don't always play out the birth order because they were kind of a lump,
Right.
Especially the last two, they were a pair. For a long time, it was the big ones and the littles and the babies and the olders and I don't know.
It's hodgepodge. There's no, I don't know that you can, as a parent, can keep it consistent. I mean, I'm sure there are some parents out there who are as great of a parent as to their fourth as they were to their first.
But I think you're good in other ways, right? Then
Yes, I
maybe
agree.
it wasn't so good that when the first was born, I was all hovering over him and making sure everything was okay. And maybe it is better that with Joey, I was more laid back and
Right.
let him
No,
go
I
do his
don't, that's not I'm just saying that as a first time parent and how you bring that kid up versus the second and the third and the fourth of however many, there's that first, it's just unrepeatable. It's a whole new experience into parenthood and how you treat this new thing that depends on you for life.
Right.
And then that second one is just a little different.
Right.
And then by the time you get, depending again, how the distance between them, by the time you get to that third, and we've said it multiple times, I'm just so freaking tired.
I know.
I just don't have it in me. And again, I'm sure that there are parents out there, or maybe you get an au pair or whatever, to actually take care of that. But I don't know that you can ever repeat that. I don't know that consistency. I think you're always going to have that syndrome of the middle child and the latest child.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you can keep that level of intensity that you have with the first
and
one.
I don't think you should.
No, I don't think you should either.
No, I don't think you should either.
Like I always said, Joey was my gift of flexibility. Like that was the best thing that could happen to me because I learned to just let a lot of stuff go.
Right,
Yeah,
patience.
I
and-
had to.
Yeah.
I just had to. But I also think that I knew he was the last. And so I appreciated every little second of his infanthood. Like getting up at 3 a.m. to feed him. I loved those moments.
Yeah.
Which I think was a little harder with the in-betweens because I was so tired.
Yeah. Right.
And I thought there might be more coming along.
Yeah.
So it's just different. I was talking to Jack today because he's been working. He hasn't had a day off in a couple of weeks, and he's been working crazy extra hours. And he was really tired, and he got home from work today, and he almost fell asleep standing up, putting his dinner together. And I was like, just wait till you have kids. Like I know you're tired now, but like for the first, I don't know how many months of their lives, you have to get up and feed them in the middle of the night, every couple of hours.
But the other thing is that he's young.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to be young and be just completely exhausted because of physical work or whatever. It's a completely different game with kids.
Oh,
it's
for
just
sure.
completely different. So as much as you try to help them understand.
Oh, they won't.
have
They won't. But
no
that was my
clue.
point. That's my point of like,
It's just a whole new
this is
level.
not tired. Well, and that the other piece of that is when you're getting up in the middle of the night all the time, there's no end in sight.
Right.
There's just no catching
No,
up.
no,
It's
no,
not like
no.
when you're 20 years old and yes, okay, you string together 12 days of work.
Right.
But then you can
I
have
got 4
weekends,
days off.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean
No,
that's
no,
just it's just constant. And I think I remember my mother-in-law saying that to me. It's the constancy of it when they're younger.
Yes. With no end.
Yeah, that's hard. Although I would,
Until it ends, and then you're like, oh,
well, and you don't even realize
something
until
new,
later
right?
on.
Because something new is happening.
But I still think that tiredness was easier for me than the constant worry of them now that they're older and driving and
Yes, at the time,
dating and
it's funny
doing
because
other things.
I remember saying to my sister-in-law, how did you, this is so hard. And I said, is it still hard? Because her kids were older. And she's like, yes, but it's a different kind of hard.
Mhm.
Like every stage is hard, but in a different way and
Yeah.
not in a better or less, more, but
I think this hard is harder.
yeah.
For me.
Oh no, I agree. I think when they leave the house is the hardest that I've been through so far. When you think back at, but I remember thinking how like just the physicality of it was
Right.
like so
it's
hard.
exhausting.
Right. You're making milk. You're,
Yeah, it's exhausting.
I mean, like
You're
there's
up
all kind, you're
all
up
the
all
time.
night. You're
But like now, I said this to my sister this morning. I'm like, I just want to wrap my kids in bubble wrap and like not let the world touch them. And I can't anymore.
Yeah. No.
But when they were little, you were in charge of everything they did and said and who was in their world.
And they
who-
looked to you for every answer and every idea, and they wanted to mimic you, and you're such an influence. And then school happens and life happens, and they get influenced in different ways and
Yep.
pick up these habits and those habits and trends, and they start doing things, and you're like, I just want to control that. But
Right.
at the same
And
time,
can't.
you can't, nor
can't.
should you.
right.
Right.
The more you do, the more that I wouldn't say hate you, but they push you away, or for whatever reasons. They want to be their own person. Rightfully so, just like I did when I was a kid.
But we didn't have this whole world of influence that they have.
No, but again, that's you
Which is
can't
scary.
factor that in. That's not our fault or their fault.
Oh, I understand
They
that, but it's scary.
They live in a digital world, and they know. I was very interested because I was listening to another podcast, but
Oh, me
talking
too.
about
Psych.
you were really into it, weren't you? But just like this idea of the analog world of which we grew up in and having to do everything versus the digital world that they're growing up in now. And that's the only thing they know. They don't know the analog world.
Right.
They just don't. It's completely different.
You know how, in the end, if it comes to a battle between us and them, we need to change all the cars to stick shift, and they're screwed.
And all the clocks to analog
Oh, yeah.
and write in cursive.
Yeah.
It's our own code. It's the Enigma code.
We don't even have to change the
We don't
words.
need an Alan Turing. We got it.
Just write in cursive, and all cars are in stick shift. They can't go anywhere. They can't read
They
anything.
can't tell the
They're screwed.
time. They don't know when to meet, where they're supposed to meet.
Yeah.
Rotary phones. They can't even dial.
I won't have any idea.
It'll be awesome.
So yesterday, Mark Zuckerberg, talking about Meta and Instagram and Facebook, revealed that they are now working on a ghost project called, I don't remember what it's called. They're hoping by 2027 to have these things out on the market. They are glasses by Ray-Ban. They already have them out right now, but the version that they're working on that they displayed up on stage yesterday is they're augmented reality glasses, but they're they're regular glasses, and they have speakers in them, and you can talk to them, but they're regular glasses. They're not, the ones they have now are a little bit bulky, but you can walk in any room and you can see through their pass through, but at the same time they have
Butterflies flying around right?
Well, but screens. You can do your work. Like you can literally have like 5 screens in front of you and work on anything you want. And now, which is really interesting, is I don't know how they're doing this technology. He showed it, but he didn't really talk about it. It's because they're trying to still figure this out. But there's a wristband, and that wristband follows your internal movements in terms of your digits and how you move each muscle.
Yeah.
And it follows that. So you can scroll.
Oh, geez.
With your thumb, and you don't have to actually physically do anything. You can have it in pocket. You can scroll. And so it feels.
And do we think these are good things?
Yes. The way that, because Oprah had a show, Bill Gates has a new show out, and they're all talking about this thing about AI and how it's upon us. And it is very much a part of the story going forward. There is no denying that. Mm-hmm. Every expert, every single person has said this.
Right.
So in order to get everybody prepared for this, because they all agree it's happening too fast. They all agree that. But what they're trying to do is educate the public in terms of how it is to be used and the cons of it, as well as the pros to it. In the medical field, it's going to be, it's just... in terms of pros versus cons, the medical field, it's going to make things completely different. Education, completely different. So because of those two huge things, it is very beneficial to not only us, but the world, and to be able to get rid of disease and educate people everywhere, because you have a personal assistant for you.
Okay, fine. But do we need to have glasses where we're seeing things while we're walking when... like, we have enough ADHD in this world.
But again, I hear what you're saying, but there's no stopping it. There is literally, you can bring up as many cons and all the things that you don't like about it, but that doesn't matter. It is what it is. Literally, it is taking the world over. Now we as a society have to figure out how we're going to use it in a good manner, put laws around it, make sure that we're using it in the correct ways, and that we are the ones who are pushing this thing forward, and it's not falling into other bad hands who could be pushing it in wrong ways. It's very interesting to see this whole, I mean, you guys know that I'm fascinated with this stuff, but in literally 2 years, how this thing called AI is not only taking over, but really going to change the future in terms of what it's going to look like. I mean, glasses that we can literally wear that will have anything and everything. They showed not only like for like Kirsten, she's over in another country. She can have a real-time conversation with somebody who's speaking any language. Doesn't matter.
It'll translate.
It'll translate real-time into the speaker that's over your ear. You can have ingredients in front of you, and it will tell you exactly what to make in front of you. It'll have a list of all the shopping things that you need to buy, or it will scan all the things, whatever, it doesn't matter. You'll be walking down the street and it'll tell you about some history about the street that you're on, or some of the things that are around you. It'll tell you a full history. So there are benefits where it will go from there. I don't know that we know.
I think it's too much information. It's just too much information. It's too much. And I understand your point. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. So I'm reading.
No, I know. Humans are not equipped for this.
It's just too much.
Yes.
I'm reading Brave New World right now, which was written in 1932. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with that book at all. And I'm not far enough into it to really discuss too much of it. But it's about human engineered humans, like bioengineered humans. And the fact that this book was written in 1932 and the things that they talk about in it and how all of the genetics of it and everything, it's fascinating that those thoughts were there back then.
100 years ago, yeah.
And then
Damn, you think about it as 100 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was
almost.
it's fascinating to read this, though. And the things that came up are still the ideas that we are grappling with today. And then there's an addendum to it, which is Brave New World Revisited, which I think was written in maybe the 50s or 60s, and just how, and I'm not up to that point,
Right.
but like, I don't know, it's scary. It's scary. It's just scary.
Yeah.
And I just don't think and I know, I hear what you're saying, but if we all keep saying, you can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop it, somebody at some point, there has to be like, that's
No,
not a
because
reason to keep
we're and that this is actually one of Bill Gates's points is that, every single technology that we've had so far, be it the computer or the, telephone or whatever it is, it's had a limit. We can only go so far with that technology. AI is not like that. It has learned so fast and it has gained so much in such a short time that we're just like, whoa, I don't.
well, that's where there has to be regulation.
Well, that's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And they all agree.
And then you have to look at the people who are developing all these things are also developing them because they will benefit from the profits.
Yes,
of it,
Sam
right?
Altman, I'm looking at you.
So,
But just think for 1 second about, so there's still societies in our country that are simple, like the Amish, right? They don't use any technology.
No.
They don't educate their children past, like, say, an 8th grade education, right? They've been living the same way as long as this country's been around, correct? And have not actually kept up at all with any sort of technology. You could, other than the horse and plow and stuff like that. Are they, and now we have all this stuff coming up, but it would be interesting to me if someone could do a study just to see if they are, for lack of better terms, better or worse than those of us who have embraced technology. Because I don't know that it seems like it's made that much of a difference.
I think
when you sit here, you know what I mean?
you'd have to define what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Like, are you looking at happiness factors? Are you looking at life satisfaction factors? What
Yeah,
are you
There'd
looking
be
at
a
to
rubric,
define better
right?
or worse?
But if there was a way to someone to do a study to say, these are
Lifespan, health, like there's
right. Are they better for have not embraced it? Or are they worse? Or is it,
don't
are we
know.
equal? Has it made a difference? Even though we think about all these differences.
I know I can say life is better in the 1980s.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know, because I think it depends on a couple factors. My initial response is, of course, they're going to be happier because they got a simpler life and they have less to think about.
But
and
I don't
stress
know
about.
that they feel that
But
they're
I don't
happier.
know that they are.
Right. So the question then becomes, okay, like to do their job on a daily basis and to feel satisfied, because you can then get into the whole psyche of, okay, what does the human want?
Right.
And in terms of a daily basis and to feel accomplished and to feel
That's
like
the
you've,
Maslow's hierarchy of
Right.
needs, right?
so in order for them to do their job, what do they need in order to satisfy that want or that need? And compared to us and how we would want to do our job, does AI and the technology make that easier on us? And therefore we get more satisfaction, where they don't have new technologies. They are just dealt the same for hundreds of years. Do they find satisfaction in the repetitiveness? The no, I can't say repetitive.
The simplicity.
The simplicity, and it just works.
Right.
I don't need any more than that.
All right. Someone out there do a study. Get back to us.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are studies, but even the happy middle ground too. And then you can look at other factors, like you can look at that's just the number of depression cases, the number of suicides. Like there's ways that you can also look at. I don't think people are happier today than they were 50 years ago. But I do think that women have come a long ways. I think that certain demographic populations have definitely come. So there's got to be happy mediums, but all of the technology, and maybe that's just because it scares the life out of me.
Yeah, but by that, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, yeah.
But by that, okay, so the people before them were more happier, and the people before them were more happier, and the people before them. So I'm thinking like, okay, the 1820s or the 1870s, those are the happiest people
But
of
were
all.
they or were they not? No, and I don't know. Like that's where you have to look at those studies and see. Like
I wouldn't think so. I mean,
right, because then there's that when you go back to the hierarchy of needs too, of like, what does it take to get to, need 3, which is belonging, or need 4, which is self-esteem, or need 5, which then is self-actualization. What are those pieces that add up to that? But if you're here in this world of so much technology and so much information, is this yearning and longing for more, or the stress factor or whatever? Can you ever reach that point?
Deep Thoughts with the set list of life. I bet you didn't think you were going to get into this.
Kirsten, we need you back. we need to hear about Reiki chickens.
Yeah. Holy shit, did we just take a left turn?
Everybody's pulling a Christine going, wait, what? What just happened?
Right.
Do I need to back this up? Did I miss the last 15 minutes?
Is this the same show?
Air conditioning was the tipping point. End of story. End of story.
We are never, ever going to tape and record in my house again. This is what happens. We're now in the like.
This is great.
And I have to say, it's really quiet here.
Right now. It wasn't about an hour ago when the dog was barking and people were walking upstairs and Jack was yelling outside.
We need Albert. We need Albert to come back.
No, we don't. No, we don't need Albert. I love you, Albert. If you're listening.
I'm pretty sure he's not listening.
The dog listens to everything.
Okay, one last thing before we wrap this up, because we probably need to wrap this up.
We're making up for the past how many
Anyway,
days.
we haven't.
What's really funny is that I think it was last episode at the very end. We're like, oh, we're good now. We're back. Everybody's back.
We're going 2 weeks later.
Consistent schedule.
Yeah.
Like now.
When does Kirsten come back? Is she back next week?
I think she is back next week. Okay. But I think also we need to go on a schnapps walk.
I don't know what a schnapps walk is.
Ooh, okay.
So in the Black Forest in Germany.
I'm lost.
You can go on a schnapps walk.
Okay.
Where you hike a little.
And you drink some
and
schnapps?
then they have these little stations.
Ooh.
Where you
Some schnapps.
put your little coin in the slot and they open the door and you get a little glass and you have a little schnapps.
Okay.
And then you walk a little more and then you stop again and you have a little schnapps.
Okay.
Schnapps walks it is.
I'm wondering how the end of this walk is.
Well, it depends. I think you're starting at the bottom of the hill
there
going
a
to the
hotel?
top.
Is there a nice little inn?
Do we
at
make
the
it
top?
to the top?
Wouldn't it be better to be moving the other direction?
Well, no, because it's easier to go downhill. So if you're drunk, wouldn't you want to make it easier to just get downhill?
Right. So wouldn't you start at the top and go down?
No, because if you get up to the top, then you could just roll down.
Oh, because you have to come back.
Yeah.
This is what you're saying. I'm thinking we're staying
you're
in an
at the
inn
top-
at the top.
if you're
and
at the
we're
top-
done.
Yeah, right. They can come get us.
Please.
If you're at the top and you drink to the bottom, there's no way in hell you're walking back up that hill.
No, well, I was thinking it was inn to inn, not a point to point, not a out and back. To speak in
Honestly, I don't know.
my race terminology that I no longer can use.
I have to admit, I don't know. I don't know if it's a loop. I don't know if it's a
Right.
hill. I don't
Well,
know.
now we have
All
to
I
look
know
into
is that
this.
you walk and you
there's
drink
schnapps.
So there is. I know that there's a marathon in I think France maybe where like every mile you get a glass of wine. It sounds like a disaster. First of all, I don't like wine anyway, but I can't imagine you can get more than like a mile or two without like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably not a full glass, but it's wine tasting throughout.
Fair.
But this sounds like your schnapps walk. I don't even really know that I like schnapps all that much. Can
I
we do
can't
a
say
whiskey
that-
walk?
Well, look, it's fermented fruit. Think of it that way. It's good for you.
It's fruit.
It's fruit. It's good for you.
Peach schnapps. Fuzzy Nevils. I always really liked fuzzy.
Yeah,
I always
that's a
really
college drink.
I know. It's so good.
What is in that? Peach schnapps and what? Orange juice?
Orange juice.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't poo-poo the schnapps until you've tried it.
I'm not totally poo-pooing the schnapps. I'm not against it. I'm just saying,
It wasn't your drink of choice.
well, maybe what we could do is a progressive walk and have different drinks at each.
Maybe this is what we do for our 100th.
I'm going to get a thing of framboise for 100.
I I don't even know
Around
what that
the
is. What is
world.
that?
Framboise.
I think we should each bring a drink.
Lambic.
Though.
Yeah.
She wasn't there for the lambic.
She wasn't there for the lamp. That was probably the
that
tapeworm.
was the
How
tapeworm
many things have I
episode.
missed?
I think it was the
Are
same.
you recording without me and I don't know it? And you figure she'll never know because she doesn't
It took
listen.
100 episodes, but she finally figured it out. Damn it.
She's only been
She
in
didn't know we
22.
had 3 lessons last week. Three. What, I can't even talk. 3 recordings last week.
Yeah. Actually, we have this whole different crowd without you.
Yes. Oh, don't be sad.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh, no.
We don't really. Oh,
That makes me feel even sadder. Okay, so tell me about. I think I've heard of Lambic. Is that what it is?
Yeah, lambic.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a
I think
beer.
I've heard
Yes,
of it.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
It's a fruity
Framboise.
beer.
It's a fruity beer. Very good. Very good.
Okay.
I'll get 100.
I think we should each bring a drink.
Ooh, I'm bringing framboise.
I'll bring 2. I've got 2 drinks.
Ooh.
2 drinks to share.
Okay, whose house are we sleeping at that night?
Um,
I can walk home from Kirsten's, so that's not a problem for me.
I'll
Uber.
just. She's
We'll
got
Uber.
that big, nice couch. I'll sleep on the couch.
There you
Nice.
go.
And we can Uber. Because we're safe. Okay, now I got a drink.
All right.
Okay. It's starting to formulate.
We're starting to
I'm gonna tell Kirsten. And we should also have champagne.
Yeah. Well, okay. Wow.
okay.
So I'll
It's
have
starting
my
to
2
turn in.
drinks.
Okay. We'll figure it
You'll
out.
have to. We'll figure it out.
We got 10 episodes. Well, 9 now. To figure it out.
So wait,
like-
so have we
she's-
figured out week wise?
It's like Christmas. It's
like
right
right around
it's
Christmas.
Okay, so let's suppose that we do actually
Thursday, Thanksgiving is out.
Okay, hold on. I gotta give me a second here.
Okay, you know what, guys? We probably don't need to do our calendar on the air. So,
Everybody's like,
wow. On that, why don't we wrap this up and then we can discuss the calendar?
we'll
It's
get
after
back to you
Christmas.
next
Oh
week.
no, it's
So-
the 5th. It's the 5th of no, it's the week after. Sorry, 12th of December.
We've
Yeah.
we've had a lot of episodes that were all over the place, but I think this was a
Yeah.
mistake.
I mean, this is, I don't know.
We didn't linger on anything too long.
Did not linger on anyone's subject.
I don't know. We've had some pretty good doozies.
Oh, in the past.
Yeah. Some of them are like, wow.
All right. Well, next week, hopefully, Kirsten's back, and we will have all of us, and we can discuss not our calendar, but perhaps more ideas. Bring in the ideas, audience.
Yeah.
Of what you'd like us to do for our 100th.
The set list of life.
At
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
That's it. That's what
I
it
mean,
is.
that's it. There's not a whole lot more
That's
to it.
right. You're right. You're good. You got it right. Just testing you.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Would have said it myself, but I didn't want to give it away. On that happy note, thank you all for joining us for the latest episode of the Set List of Life. Good night.
Right.